This is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talon Mix. It is a Smallville recap podcast. I'm Brian, and Zach.
I'm Zach. Sorry.
Sorry, were you just watching the episode before we went on?
Yeah, sorry. Oh my gosh. I fell
Told you
asleep
not to
during
do
this
that.
week's
Told you to get-
episode. Yeah.
This is our Smallville recap podcast. Zach and I watched Smallville together in college, and now we're doing it again in our 30s, because that's pretty much what a podcast is. Zach, this episode's a stinker. It's coming out the gate.
But it's not bad in, like, noteworthy ways. Like, it's not bad. It's just nothing.
I think we have to have a conversation when we're done recapping whether this is a contender for the Zero Award.
I mean, so far this season, this is the Zero front runner, certainly.
Absolutely. For anyone not familiar, Zero is an episode in season 1. It is. Zach and I sped through that episode. I think that episode is 25 minutes of just all we wanted to do was when it's a bad episode of Smallville, we're having fun talking about all the silly Smallville things. I think when talking about Zero, the only thing we wanted to do was not be talking about Zero anymore.
There was like an existential plight to our recap that week. Maybe it's because that was before we were airing the podcast.
That's true. I will say this one's bad enough of like, we just got back into clips. I'm like, I'm going to start putting clips together again and like finding them, and we'll do them because I think that adds a little bit of fun texture to the show. I have some clips. I don't even know if it's worth the fucking time, dude.
Oh, no. You should play them just so the listeners can be reminded of how boring this episode is. This episode's one of those where you can tell some of the actors knew what a piece of shit it was while they were like, Rosenbaum is totally checked out of this episode.
Yup. It's one of those ones, it's the level of bad where like there is just no cultural, this did nothing. This is nothing.
Right.
No waves in either direction. Literally, if this episode just wasn't available, if it like wasn't on Hulu, if it never made DVD, I don't think anyone would be like, what happened to Tomb? I love that episode.
No, because except for the people in it, maybe, but no pieces get moved in this episode.
Nothing.
Like you can
nothing.
It lifts right out.
It's kind of nice.
Right,
it's kind of nice in theory that we get such a Chloe-centric episode, but not an execution.
You know, I like in this show when they try to do different things. They try to do something that's not really a Smallville episode, but when you do that, oftentimes you're going to miss, you know, and this is a miss.
Yeah, I've been rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer recently, and to Smallville, you can't come out swinging with a spooky episode and give me this. Like,
no, that's the thing. The first 30 seconds of the episode, I was like, "Ooh, this is fun!
How fun!
Kismet!" We're in October recapping. This was a February episode, but it's spooky.
Right,
perfect.
Right, perfect.
Spooked me right to sleep. Spooked me right to sleep.
It's so normal. Sorry,
I was well rested today, Brian. I was well rested when I sat down to watch this episode, and I was nodding off.
So what I normally do in my morning is I get up with my daughter around 6:30, 7 a.m. I get her bottle ready. I get, her diaper change ready for the day. We go, and then I watch usually a movie, but lately it's been 2 episodes of Buffy. While she gets her bottle, I let her play on the floor a little bit. And then about 90 minutes, basically that's a good indicator it's time to put her down for a nap. So I didn't do two episodes of Buffy this morning. I did an episode of Smallville and an episode of Buffy. And while this episode of Smallville was playing, all I wanted to, like, God, get me back to Buffy, please, I beg of you.
Right, because it's like a pale Buffy imitation.
Exactly.
And yeah. Oh, oof. See. We keep going back to this, but the vampire episode is at least campy bad in a fun way.
Had a lot of fun watching it. Had a lot of fun talking about it.
A guy gets his dick bitten off in that episode.
There is look. Doesn't happen every day, and it's exciting when it does. It's like a rainbow when a dude gets his dick bit off in the cold open.
Carrie Fisher's in that episode. Give me that episode 10 times out of 10 over this episode.
10 times out of 10. Quick, I said cold open. Is it a cold open when it's related to the episode, or is it cold open just purely almost a little sketch, closer to like The Office?
Oh, that's a great question. I think we were taught that it's something that has nothing to do, but I think that people use the term now just to describe.
Right. It's just a blanket. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Man, before we get into this just riveting fucking episode of Smallville, can I go on a quick movie diversion?
Yes, because we don't have this. We're going to have 20 minutes of recap.
We're going to we're going to sprint through this Sonic the Hedgehog speed. Dude, I just got out of Saw X. The way you have to watch a movie when both you and your wife want to see a movie, but you have a 7-month-old, is Emily went last night and then I went tonight. We were going to go together on Sunday. Our babysitter got COVID. So...
Selfish.
You know, how dare they? But so we did it on different nights, which gotta say, I would have had way more fun, I think, with Saw X had I saw it with my wife, who I enjoy watching stupid movies with.
Of course.
So here's the thing: this movie's gotten pretty decent reviews. It is currently sitting with an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. For reference here, the Saw franchise usually sits at like the 30s to 40s.
The first one, which is widely considered the best one,
I would say 50. The best. Yeah, right.
Is it at 50%? Yeah.
And I think that's risen with affection over time. I think that was like 46 when it came out. Like it's gone up a little in like score inflation. So Saw X is being widely pretty well received. If you go on Letterboxd, you see a lot of like best Saw, bare minimum best in a while. Gotta say, I like these movies. I like these dumb idiot gremlin movies. I liked it. I had a good time. I have no idea why this one is being so well received over any of the other ones. It was Saw. If it was Saw, it had some yucky traps. It had some real dumb shit. It has some okay shit. It was fine. I'd give it a pretty middle of the road. It was fine.
I haven't seen the movie, but it does seem to be this nostalgia thing where if something goes away for a while and then comes back, oftentimes people are like, "Oh, is that this?"
Yeah. Like, to be clear, you not a particular fan of the Saw franchise. Is that fair to say?
I've seen the first Saw. Yeah.
I think you would give this a 2.5 stars. The same I think you would give the rest of the franchise. I have no idea. Like, don't get me wrong. Was this better than Spiral from the Book of Saw? Yeah, probably. Not by like a lot.
Right.
Not by a significant margin.
Could it be the people who are writing reviews now were like, grew up with these movies? Like, I'm trying to understand why this movie's getting...
Yeah, I truly don't. It's not. If anything, I think there are some missed opportunities. It focuses more on the Jigsaw character, which is fun. He's inarguably the main character of the movie, which he's never been before. And that's fun.
Not even of the one called Jigsaw?
No. No. That's ridiculous.
What an absurd thing to say. I'm sorry.
I forgive you, but like, watch it, bud.
This is serious. Get your head in the game.
But it doesn't he's the main, and that's a fun little twist on it. But like, it doesn't explore this character in any way I found interesting. It doesn't illuminate anything about him or like change my perception of the other, let me be clear, 9 fucking movies. It was mostly stupid. It was kind of fun. It won't be a slog to get through when I inevitably rewatch all 10 movies in a couple of years. But also, I'm not going to be like, it's not going to be like a shining spot. It's a dead average, dead in the middle. It was fine.
I wonder if you watch it like over a couple days with all the others, if then you're like, oh no, this is much better. Then
that's a good point. I also will say, I didn't get to watch it with my wife. Not that we would have gotten to talk during a movie, but like I found a lot of like the actual like Saw stuff to be kind of snoozery of like, yeah, his finger's fucking broken. I get it. I've seen it. There's 10 of these. I've seen all its tricks, you know? Terrifier 2 exists, and that movie shocked me to my core. You got nothing left, you know? Get your Bush era tricks out of here. But I also, Emily said that her theater was like 3/4 full. Everyone's having a good time. My theater, there was just a smattering of people. We watched it in dead silence.
Oh no, yeah.
Which could, certainly like a comedy, there could have been a communal yuckiness factor of like, oh no, we're all stuck in this together. That would have like maybe raised the bar for me.
Horror movies in particular, I feel you need to see with as big a crowd as possible.
I think it depends on the movie. Yeah.
Or completely by yourself.
Right. Right. So I don't know. I'm still just perplexed. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's a nostalgia factor. People haven't been like watching these as much. It's no My Beautiful Monster Son of a movie, Spiral from the Book of Saw. That's it. That's all I have to say about Saw X.
I'll tell you right now, it's better than this episode of Smallville.
It's way better than this episode of Smallville. Also, from now on this podcast, we will not call it Saw X. We will call it Socks, because that's what we call it in my house.
But it doesn't Socks.
It doesn't Socks. It doesn't... I don't have a fun, clever thing to be like, great. But it doesn't... Hey... It doesn't Socks.
It sounds like someone from Boston didn't like the movie. It sucks.
That Rotten Tomatoes blurb would have written itself. It sucks. It's fine. Fuck. All right. I guess. Fuck. I was really hoping that was going to eat up more time.
Let's start.
Let's start.
If we got a vamp midway through, we can do that.
We'll find a way. These two white dudes can't stop just fucking yapping at each other. That's the alternate title of this podcast. Tomb is the 14th episode in the 5th season of Smallville. It is the 102nd episode overall. It aired February 9th. 2006. I know this, of course, because I'm reading directly from the Smallville wiki, smallville.fandom.com. Zach, I looked at, just like realizing I had nothing really to say about this episode. I looked up the date, February 9th, 2006. I'm like, maybe some fun things happened and we can fill some time with that. Zach, nothing happened on this fucking Thursday in 2006. Not a fucking damn thing. A British airline tycoon died in his 70s. And an English soccer player who was 84 died.
I worked a shift at Blockbuster, then went home and masturbated. I mean, this is literally all that happened.
That's it. That's wow. That's it. In human history, according on this day.com, that's all they fucking got. Check On It by Beyonce featuring Slim Thug was the #1 song.
Maybe can we look up what other TV shows played that day? Like, were they all stinkers? Was there Thursday? That's Friends, right? Oh, Friends is done.
Friends is just done. Friends is
we get a Joey
just
episode.
Done.
We get a Joey episode.
That's of note. There we go.
Which episode of Joey aired February 9th?
February 9th, 2006, TV schedule. God damn, now I'm looking it up. TV listings. Let's see. ABC had Dancing with the Stars and Grey's Anatomy. So basically they're lined up now. CBS had Survivor and CSI. We had a That 70s Show on Fox. We also had an OC. That's one of my faves. Let's see. We had a Will and Grace.
That's amazing. Almost 20 years ago. And it's the same lineup on ABC and pretty much on CBS. Like CSI is now NCIS or whatever the fuck.
Right. Or just some CSI spinoff that's probably still in existence on that channel that only old people watch. Dude, I gotta say, Smallville will be followed by on the WB by Beauty and the Geek in an episode titled Strip Poker.
What's Beauty and the Geek?
I believe that was a dating show, like a Bachelor style dating show where she was hot and all the guys are geeks.
So stupid.
Dude, there was nothing on TV tonight.
That's why they dumped this episode in there.
I guess so. Oh, fuck. All right. That's enough. We tried.
Let's talk about the fucking show.
Fucking hell. Rip the Band-Aid off. Here we go. During a thunderstorm, Chloe is taking a shower at Lois's Talon apartment when the power goes out. They make an excuse why Chloe is taking a shower at Lois's apartment.
Whatever.
It's not crazy, but it is like, all right, so you just really needed Chloe in the shower, huh? And you don't have a set for Chloe to take a shower on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also like, spoiler alert, she's going to get possessed by a ghost here that lives in the walls of the Talon. I like that this didn't happen until now.
Yeah, right. Lois has taken any number of showers. But
Lana. Yeah. And they do ask that question at the end of the episode, like, why did she choose me? And Clark's like, maybe because she knew how you were the person who cares the most about other people. And I'm like, no. The writers needed
Clark, that's not it. Shut the fuck up.
It's reasons. This opening shot of the Talon has some CGI water. Did you notice on the side of the Talon?
I did notice that.
Trickling down the side.
Basically what I thought, my thought process was like, ooh, stormy establishing shot. You didn't actually get a rain shot in these. That is CGI rain. Yes.
But not just the rain, which makes sense, but the side of the building is like rippling with water. And I'm like, did they just have extra money to throw it? I don't think they needed that. I wouldn't have noticed.
I wonder if there's an element of like, we'll do it this one time and then we have it. And then we have it.
That's
we'll
true.
Use it again.
Next. Throw it in the bin with all the shots from The Specialist and Batman Begins.
Yes. A ghost can be seen peering through the shower curtain while Chloe is still in the shower. She gets out of the shower to light a candle, and the power went out. I'm sure I said that. The power went out. She gets out of the shower to light a candle, which I understand visually is the spooky thing to do, is to light a candle, but it is funny that Chloe shouts to Lois, do you have a candle? Not like a fucking flashlight? Candle's what you reach for? Like it's the 1800s?
It's a spooky episode, bro.
Oh, right, of course. Sorry. So Chloe lights a candle, turns to see a bloody young girl pleading for help. Chloe screams in fear, and Lois rushes to the bathroom. She doesn't see anything, but finds Chloe crouched in a corner, her wrists cut, asking for help.
It's not a direct one-to-one, but this episode feels like the writer watched Stir of Echoes on TV like the night before.
I have not seen Stir of Echoes, but I have passed by it many times on Tubi. It's been on my not list. I don't have a list on Tubi. That'd be ridiculous. You scroll through Tubi and you pick something at the time. And Stir of Echoes I've hovered over it and it almost hit it a couple of times.
I watched it a few years back. It's fine. It's like a solid. I remember it being a solid thriller. Yeah. But it's the same plot except for without the possession. Like he sees a ghost and helps solve her murder.
Got it.
Very similar visual stuff going on.
Got it.
I remember it came out, I think, the year after Sixth Sense, and kind of got
one of those. Got it.
Got lost in the sixth. Like, I don't think it was. It was probably made before that movie came out, but it got lost.
That vibe was hot. Yeah.
Well, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is just a ripoff of the Sixth Sense."
Yeah, got it. Man, Sixth Sense is a good fucking movie.
Sixth Sense is really
Watched that
good.
in the last couple of years. Good fucking movie. Unlike a certain episode of Smallville. Also, man, they're pretty cavalier in this episode on regards to suicide, mental health.
Oh man,
pretty woof. If you're sensitive to that stuff, this episode, woof. Buckle in or get out of the car. Probably get out of the car. Maybe don't buckle into the car.
Let's add that to our reasons not to watch this week's episode.
At the hospital, Clark meets Chloe's psychiatrist, Dr. Seidel, who theorizes that Chloe might have cut her wrists due to too much stress. Perhaps from keeping a secret that she feels she can't share, or family history. Oh, gosh golly.
I just love the idea of what fucking psychologist does Smallville Medical have? Is there in-house?
Sure, at least someone who would say something gay. I don't know. Maybe she's got a secret she can't share. Should we go in there and find out for medicine? What do you think it is? Do you guys have any ideas of any cool secrets? I'm really bored.
They needed to animate Dr. Nick from The Simpsons into one of these episodes.
Okay, so Lois denies any family history of mental illness. Dr. Seidel states his intent to treat Chloe aggressively. Is this where we're learning the history? What do we know about Chloe's mom thus far?
I thought, I can't remember if we learned before this that she is in a mental hospital.
I can't tell if we learned before or if I just remember that from the show, from watching the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've
it
confused
seems
that
like it was
times.
mentioned before. It seems like it was mentioned before.
I feel like that too.
So in this scene with the psychologist, we get our first introduction to, spoiler alert, no one cares, the guy who's going to end up being the serial killer, which is the orderly at the hospital.
Right.
And he's the bad guy because the camera lingers on this random orderly that doesn't have any other line or reason to be there.
Nope.
But noteworthy to me was the psychologist is he calls him orderly. He's like, orderly, please take this woman to her room. I'm like, bro, he's got a name. Is this the first day? That's not.
Yeah, right.
He calls him that later in the episode too. Orderly.
That's like a position.
Right.
That's your coworker. I know, obviously as a doctor, you're rank higher, but that is your coworker.
It's not Metropolis Medical. This is Smallville. There's
how many people coming in and out,
Right. How many people are on staff? You have a couple orderlies, one psychiatrist. Learn the dude's name, buddy. Learn the dude's name.
Clark talks to Chloe, who claims that she does not remember anything and that she did not try to kill herself. She tells Clark about the girl she saw. Clark asks if she wants to tell the doctor about her mother's mental illness, but Chloe insists they don't. Here's the thing. I was having this moment of you and Clark, You've had some adventures. Surely you have a spooky weird thing is happening.
Right,
Clark.
a code word. Hey,
Right, like
remember the time that there was invisible people, or
like
a
it's
guy could freeze people? Or
surely
shoot
we're having
fire?
an X-Files situation, my friend, largely due to meteor rocks, probably. None of this is out of the ordinary. I think we've had ghosts before. I don't even think this is the first ghost. We've had vampires.
You're an alien.
They bit a guy's dick off.
I mean, it is the classic X-Files problem of literally every episode, Scully apparently has her memory erased.
Yeah.
She's like, Mulder, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Watching Buffy has me want to. I have not done all of X-Files. I've given it earnest shots before. Never gotten all the way through it, or even that said, I've seen, good episodes and I have enjoyed them. I liked both movies. Not like loved them, but like had a good time watching both of them. So I just said to my wife really loves it. And I'm finally like, I think I'm ready to do it. Like do one a night. We'll see if it goes anywhere.
I mean, I love the X-Files, and I think the middle seasons are the best, like 4, 5, 6. So you have to get through a lot of Hillary Clinton pantsuits.
Sure.
In the first 3 whatever seasons.
So usually in Vancouver when we were in college together, what I would do is I would borrow your DVDs, and like that was Smallville, that was Friends, and then at one point you were going away for a while. You were gonna go, maybe it was a winter break or something. And you just I just walked out of your apartment with like an armload of DVDs. X-Files was among them. And that was my first earnest shot at X-Files. And that was a nah.
I mean, you told me you made it until
the elevator
killer
episode.
Elevator. Yeah, the killer elevator is where you dropped off.
And I got through Smallville, and like X-Files killer elevator was like, oh,
there's some stupid shit in the, yeah. But they take swings. I tend to like the Freak of the Week episodes in X-Files more than I like the conspiracy.
I think that's a common.
But season 6 is my favorite, and that's because that's where I started watching it as a kid. That's the first season after the movie comes out, and it's also the first season where they move from Vancouver to LA for production.
Got it.
But it's similar to Smallville when it starts to have more fun with it. Sure. And I'm sure that bothered a lot of people, but for me, that's like, yeah, let's have fun with this. Let's have fun.
It's funny how, I don't know if this was true for you. I feel like my perception of X-Files as a kid was that this was prestige television, essentially. And it's like, no, it's goofy. It's a goofy genre comic book.
Yeah. It was at that time.
Right.
And, it was a very cinematic way they shot the show.
Sure, that's true.
Compared to other shit that was on.
Right.
But, yeah, it's so silly.
So that said,
it's absurd. Yeah.
Been watching Smallville. I kind of want to dive back into X-Files. I've been watching Buffy. And then my wife is watching Monk. A lot of Monks. What's happening a lot in my house right now is there's a lot of genre TV on. Bring back genre TV. It's good. Where did it go?
There's still genre TV.
Not of note, I think. Certainly not that's like taken over. I mean, like your Stranger Things, I guess, but that's not really what I mean. I mean your episodic genre television.
Your Freak of the Week show.
And nothing with a fucking Yoda. No Star Wars. No
Yeah, no. Nothing where you have to watch something else to understand it.
Yes, I just want a random episode, and like even if I'm not like in the drift on it, I still fucking get it. I still understand the problem of the episode and like what all the characters are doing. That's it. Like, fuck it. I don't love Monk, but like I can sit down and watch a fucking episode of Monk. I understand Mr. Monk's got to solve a fucking problem and he's fucking scared of germs. Easy. I'm following.
I mean,
I'm in the mix.
It's funny. Most of TV or a lot of it is the opposite of that because of, it's streaming. So you don't even know where the episode ends sometimes unless if it weren't for the credits, it's not the end of the episode. We're just cutting a 8-hour story into 8 parts randomly.
I don't know which publication this was, and I probably wouldn't name it even if I did. Put out a list of like the best standalone episodes of TV. And now, in general, if someone puts out a list like that, I assume they're talking about like episode 4 of The Last of Us, which is completely away from the main story of the show and just has this like separate little story. It's the best episode of that show, probably the only really good episode of that show. But on it, they have like an episode of Community. Like, no, you're just talking about television. Now you're just doing episodes of television.
Yeah, standalone.
There's a lot of like just shows that have normal episodes of TV. That's what TV should be. That's what TV should be, actually. Oh, man. All right. Are you ready for Martha and budget reports? Are you ready for Martha and budget reports?
It takes a lot to make a scene with John Glover boring. Yeah.
Martha is studying budget reports when Lionel Luther drops by unexpectedly, letting himself in the back door. She asks him to use the front door next time or call first. He asks if she is considering taking Jonathan's Senate seat, and Martha is unnerved by his questions. Lionel offers his condolences and leaves.
It is a weird move to knock at the back door to someone's house.
That I kind of don't mind it. I kind of don't mind it as a general character. I think that's a Lionel power play because knocking at the back door, that implies a little bit of familiarity. You know, it's like I parked deep in the driveway. I came around the back way. I came around the comfortable.
How did you know she was in there? So he was looking through the window. That's the creepy thing. He's like, oh, she's in the back. I'll just go
Lionel's
around back.
Beautiful face. Like just, she's in the kitchen.
She's like, Jonathan's body's not cold back yet. It's not cold yet. Come back.
I'm coming for you, Martha.
I'm in a month, please. Let me mourn my dead husband first.
Chloe hears a voice begging for help coming from the bathroom in her hospital room. She gets up to investigate and sees the girl again. Lana arrives just then, and Chloe asks her to help her find the girl. She sees blood. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Before I forget, I just want to add, Lionel, when someone's lost someone they love, I don't think they want someone else to be like, I know exactly how you feel.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I lost someone too, and let me talk about that.
No, not what people want.
No, just be there. That's all,
Just be there. Just be there and like let them draw their own conclusions of like, oh, you maybe not, like let them do that. I understand you have to let us, the TV audience, potentially get on board with the fact that Lionel wants to smooch Martha and find that a compelling story, but
right. But I just don't. He said it in multiple episodes at this point where he's like, when I lost my wife, and it's like, dude, maybe later, like a month down the road,
later.
Yeah, when we're talking and telling stuff. Right now, don't make it about you.
Johnny's going to roll over in his fucking grave, Zach. He's going to roll over in his fucking
he already
grave.
Is when that fucker knocked on his back door of his house. He's just like, zombie Johnny K! I'm coming for you.
That's where we get the fucking hand through the dirt mound of the grave.
That would have been an episode.
That would have been. They should have done that instead.
Zombie Johnny K episode. Kryptonite makes him a zombie.
John Schneider
has to blow his head off.
Clark has to blow his head off. John Schneider's still on the payroll. He's still getting credited. I don't think we talked about that yet. Apparently, it's like a real pain to like change the header, the theme. So I guess
they just pay him instead.
So they just pay him. Well, I guess he's probably signed on for the season. So I guess that makes sense. But like, so he's still a regular cast member at this time. Even they're just paying him for nothing. But like they leave him in the intro. I wonder if that has to do with timing as much as anything else. Of like, look, this is literally perfectly timed for the block we have.
Right. Yeah, probably. probably.
Interesting. Speaking of Buffy, there was a Whedon apparently wanted to. There's a character that's introduced in the pilot as potentially a main character, part of the friend gang, and Whedon wanted him to be in the opening credits, only for him to get killed very like in the episode as like a little like psych, no one's safe. And it was apparently explained to him like we're not doing that. We're not doing two versions of the intro. So I guess it's like harder to do than.
Yeah, I mean,
Than I understand.
Yeah. Yep. I do. I remember seeing that for Leftovers. Season 1 and season 2 have different opening intros, and they're both really good.
Yeah.
And then season 3 just uses season 2's again, and I remember reading that they just didn't have the budget to do a.
Interesting.
I'm like, God, I feel like you could just fucking on Premiere or Adobe,
right.
just like hop on.
I know it's more complicated than this, but I feel like give me a couple hours. I think I can figure it out.
Season 3 of Leftovers is like the saddest iMovie fucking Brian created.
God, just one of the standard fonts, you know, when like there's like a shadow
Helvetica
behind that moves in the background, like with The Leftovers. I've never seen an episode of The Leftovers. Starring this guy.
It's like a bad, like one of those bad 20th Century Fox knockoff, like production company openings.
It's like, I mean, you ever see like, sometimes people say fans of Clark and Lana might make a music video,
A shipper video
set to a song, and it'll open with like a bad Windows Movie Maker, like Angel Fire Productions. And that's me for The Leftovers, baby. In this scene where Chloe's having
what if they insert just a tombstone instead of John Snyder in the opening credits for that shot? Then you have the timing down. Just like a slow zoom on a tombstone.
And instead of John Schneider's like turn to camera that they all do in the intro, it's just his fucking tombstone.
But it turns. Yeah. But it turns to reveal it's John Snyder's tombstone.
There's still a wind. There's still like a big fan on it, so the little flowers around it are rustling.
The bushes and stuff are blowing.
Someone please put that together in Premiere. I beg of you. Okay. So Chloe's having a freak out in the hospital room. Oh my God, there's blood. There's no blood. There's a great shot where we see from Chloe's perspective, boom, we cut to Lana. We then see from Lana's perspective, there is no blood.
Right.
A Crook is doing a very good job here of, I think, portraying being a little afraid of seeing your friend having what appears to be a breakdown.
Yeah.
It's
Alison Mack also doing a good job.
Yes, it's there are moments that can be scary when you see someone you care about not doing well, and you have to kind of let the professionals do their job. And I think it is portrayed very well here.
What I like about this scene is, so she follows this trail of blood out into the hallway, and it's like desolate, dead quiet. The hospital. This is like Halloween 2 hospital. Like there's no one around. It's really creepy. And then suddenly, when the psychiatrist pops up, there's 40 people. It's a bustling, busy hospital. It's the busiest it's ever been. When they go to restrain her, there's just people. There's activity everywhere. Like you would hear that shit going on.
Yeah,
you
right.
You didn't see those people.
Right. Okay. Now, of course, I was worried not having enough to say. I'm going to bang through this next paragraph. And Lana is visibly shaken by Chloe's behavior and goes to Lex's, where he is on the phone, angrily insisting that the caller locate Professor Fine. Just a reminder.
Yeah, don't forget about Fine. He's going to come back later.
Lana tells Lex that Chloe tried to kill herself and asks if Lex could do anything from when he was in Belle Reve. Weird writing there. Seemingly genuinely concerned, Lex agrees to get her the best doctors available. Clark visits Chloe again, but this time she's in restraints. Lex arrives and announces his intention to transfer her because he doesn't think the hospital will offer the best care. Clark protests, and when Lex leaves, he breaks her out.
Everything about the Lex part of this episode I hate.
Yeah, it's bad.
First of all, hey, remember that time you were in a mental institution and it was the worst ever?
Yeah.
No, because I had my memory erased. Okay. Do you want to get someone from that same hospital where they did shock treatment on you?
Just a barbaric treatment of mental health.
Treat our friend? And he's like, yeah, let's go get her. So they go. She doesn't want to go. That's the end of it, bro.
That's the end of it.
You can't be like, hey, I want my friend to go to this mental institution. And then the friend says no. You don't get a say, random friend.
To be
fair, the doctor at the hospital does.
Right. To be fair, he is probably correct. She probably could get better help at Belle Reve than she could at Smallville Medical.
So there's a great line there where he is trying to make that point. But the line he says is, he goes, I'm sure if Chloe scraped her knee, I'm sure she'd be in good hands at Smallville Medical. No,
she'd still be better at Belle Reve.
Yeah, exactly. No, Lex, I know, I understand your point, but you would be better off treating that yourself at home.
Mm-hmm.
Belle Reve. Look, take away all the history of Belle Reve. Like, say it's a good mental institution. Like
great. They've reformed it.
Institution. Yeah. To go from my friend tried to kill herself, she's seeing things that aren't there. Literally, this has happened over like a 3-hour span of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna commit her to a mental institution. Like, give her a day.
Give her.
Let's see a few
different. You get 48 hours. Come on.
Let's see a few different doctors.
Yeah, right. And let's decide what the. Also, where's Chloe's dad?
Right, yeah. You have no say in this, Lex. That's why Rosenbaum is like sleepwalking through the episode. He's like, this is so stupid. I shouldn't even be here.
Yep. All right. Clark takes Chloe to Lois's apartment, where Chloe tells him again she didn't hurt herself, and she did indeed see something. He listens patiently, but is still skeptical. She sees the girl again and follows her into the bathroom. The girl's spirit disappears into the wall, and Chloe insists that Clark look. I love this idea. I guess what else would it be but that Clark needs to like turn on his X-ray vision with like a squint, that he can't just like, it has to be like, look through the wall. He can't just be like, the fact that he's not kind of doing it all the time is very funny.
He can't be like, I already looked through the wall. Yeah. It's just me. There's nothing.
I did a scope. I'm doing a scope all the time. I'm always looking for treasure.
I like that he looks through, sees the skeleton, and then tears the wall open to reveal it. How are you explaining that to the fucking cops
right?
Or whatever who show up?
How did you come across as well?
Well, she said she thought something was there. I wanted to prove to her that nothing was there. So you tore the drywall open with your hand.
Yeah, I did some like not inexpensive. Like, this is going to be a project to patch this back up.
Also, how did you tear the drywall open with your hands? Are you a superhuman?
You a fucking
Why aren't
alien?
your knuckles bloody?
Are you a fucking
Where's
alien?
The sledgehammer? Yeah. Are you an alien from Krypton?
You have to tell us. We got you. Jor-El uses it, or sorry.
Jor-El.
It doesn't say Jor-El. I was in my head, I was thinking of like, I opted not to say it. But like Jor-El is sitting there in the ice horse like, yep, those are the rules. You do have to tell them.
If you don't listen, I'll kill another friend of yours.
I'll do it. Clark uses his X-ray vision and sees a skeleton behind the wall. He breaks the wall open, exposing a body, but it is wearing a bracelet with a large kryptonite gem. When Clark stumbles out of the room, Chloe touches the stone and the girl's spirit is transferred into Chloe's body. Chloe looks into the mirror and we see the face of the dead girl commercial.
This is another one of those nifty kryptonite rocks that lights up when Clark's close by it for some reason.
Of course. You're allergic.
What if peanut butter lit up when you were around it, Brian?
Honestly, that'd actually be really convenient.
That'd be so helpful. Yeah, that'd be so helpful. You'd be like, oh, I should need that granola bar.
That shit's glowing.
It's glowing.
Clark takes Chloe to his house. She's acting erratic and nervous, fidgeting and biting her nails. She starts talking about how the girl must have suffered so much and that they need to find the person responsible. Clark looks worried and leaves her to rest in his bedroom. Chloe rifles through her things and finds a license to carry a stun gun and a MetU ID card. A license to carry what?
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Why are you carrying the license if you're not carrying the stun gun?
Why wouldn't you just if you just put a stun gun in there, I wouldn't be like, does she have a license for that?
Right, but the only reason you need the license is if you're going to carry that thing with you. The license isn't going to help you when someone tries to mug you.
Do not remember this. I'm not going to lie to you, Zach. What happened? Does a stun gun come into this? Somebody gets stun gunned.
Yeah, she tases Lex.
Got it.
And I think she tases serial killer too later.
So why don't they just put the stun gun? Why don't they just have her take a stun gun?
Because she has to go home to Metropolis to her dorm so that Lana can see that she's out of the hospital or whatever. Be like, hey,
sweaty.
And so she can run into Lex and tase him.
Sweaty.
Oh, we're dripping sweat. We're dripping puddles of sweat.
Lois tells Clark that she found out about the body, that it belonged to a girl named Gretchen Winters. They go to tell Chloe, but find Clark's bedroom empty. All right.
Is the implication that she jumped out the window here?
Good as any. Sure.
They look out the window and she's just like on the ground writhing.
You ever see The Lobster?
Yes.
That has a terrible someone jumped out a window scene. Terrible. Just cut to that, but it's Chloe.
I remember a lot of unpleasantness in that movie.
Viscerally upsetting. The jumped out of a window. We tend to think of that, I think, as in a certain viscerally upsetting. Because it doesn't do the job.
Right, yeah.
So they're just bent fucking weird and screaming. And it's terrible. It's terrible, Zach. Very good movie. Okay. Lois is in her apartment when the hospital orderly, Michael Westmore, is standing at the door. I have this clip. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to.
No, play it. Play it, Brian. Play it.
Okay. All right, but you did this. If you at home are listening and going, why the fuck are they doing? It's because of Zach. Lois on her table here has a book called Exorcism and Cleansing Rituals.
Oh my god. You already own that book.
You should have stayed at the hospital.
I'm gonna go see if Chloe's been to the plant.
Okay, fine. I'll call you if she shows up.
She's doing a little. She's doing some saging, incense. Clearly trying to ward off the evil spirits.
Also, just to get ahead of this for a second, if the orderly who I've never met from the hospital shows up at my front door and says, hey, I'm the orderly, I close the door and call the cops right away.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason for this creep to come into my apartment.
Why do you know where I live? How did you find out where I live? You found out through a creepy way. Why do you know where I live?
Sorry, I was just about to knock.
Oh.
Do I?
He didn't even knock.
I was just
there.
about to knock. Yeah.
He was just there.
I wasn't just touching myself outside your front door.
No, not me. Not me, the orderly.
Wait, knock.
Yeah.
Isn't that the outside of that door the inside of the Talon?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we
That sucks.
all sorts of creepy.
Now, I believe we've established there is like a back entrance. How do people get into this fucking apartment?
Is this the back entrance or the front entrance? I can't tell.
No, you can see the stairwell.
Okay. So we're inside.
I mean, we did a pass by at the hospital when they brought your cousin in, Michael.
Bye.
Right. The nurse.
Goodbye,
wait,
Michael.
actually, nurses
Bye,
full of
Michael.
other things.
Bye,
I
Michael.
know what to tell the police on the phone
Excuse me.
now.
I'm just trying to do a little aura cleansing.
Michael's coming in. Michael's coming in.
Have
She
you seen
turns her
Chloe?
back to him.
No, I haven't.
Doesn't she hear the
I
creepy
didn't know that
piano?
orderlies made house calls.
Not to victim blame here, but you turned your back on him? You turned your back on him?
Yeah.
I got 60 pounds on this guy easy, and I'm not turning my back on this fucking freak.
No, he's not coming in my house, first of all. My first question is, how'd you get in the Talon? Or not the Talon,
It's the Talon.
It's the Talon, yeah.
It's the
Sorry.
Talon.
What's the newspaper?
The Daily Planet?
No, the Chloe's newspaper.
The Torch.
I always get the Talon and the Torch mixed up.
Welcome to the Torch Mix. Zach, originally you did the intro, but you kept saying the Torch Mix, so we had to stop. Just for
It's the
sake of-
latest Torch mix. Thanks, Pete.
All right. Here's Lois. No, here's Michael.
She just seemed like a really sweet girl. Want to make sure she gets help
Red flag, red flag, red flag, red
before something
flag.
bad happens.
Well, I'll call Dr. Seidel if I hear from her.
I'm not waiting at this point. I'm throwing something at him. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
making a move.
They also like creeped up this dude. You were meant to be like just the worst comb over on this
What are you
guy.
looking
like
Oh, nothing. My dad used to run this place back when it was a movie theater.
Okay, bye.
Haven't been up.
gotta go.
God, must be going on 10 years now.
10 years.
Haven't been up
Looks
here
a lot
since
nicer.
that girl died.
Yeah,
Smells
huh?
better, too.
Miracle of the aura cleansing sage. Speaking of which, I should probably get back to my thing.
Oh, yeah, sure. If you see her, will you tell her I was asking about her?
No.
I'm
No.
going to mention to many
Problem.
people that you stopped by my home. Yes.
Lois backs up against the door, has her phone.
Come on.
Oh, Michael's back.
Chloroform.
Didn't lock the door. Rookie mistake. Not to victim blame, but rookie mistake, Lois.
Hello?
You lock and you chain that door. Come on,
Yeah,
Lois Lane.
That's a really good point. Maybe the door doesn't have a lock.
It's fucking Smallville. Maybe it doesn't.
They normally lock the front door of the Talon. So she's like, what the fuck?
The Talon apartment just has a little sign of like, please don't
People
come
live
in.
here.
Don't
Yeah.
come in here. Come on.
Young 20-somethings live here.
Come on. Oh,
See, aren't you glad we watched the clip, Brian?
I'm so glad we watched the clip. I'm so glad we could have summed all that up in 2 sentences. Chloe arrives at her destination, Michael's house, where she confronts him about Gretchen Winters, whom Michael killed 10 years ago after gaining the girl's trust. Michael attacks her and she stuns him, but is distracted by Lois's cries for help. Lois is tied to a chair in the basement. Before they can get away, Michael knocks Chloe out too. He terrorizes them and talks about how his father used to make bracelets with green gemstones. I have another clip. Let me be clear, pure disdain for myself. We're in the basement. Lois is tied up. Chloe's tied up. Michael's here.
Does it hurt? Do you feel like you want to do something wrong to yourself, even though you deserve it?
He's talking to Chloe right now.
Let them go.
Them. Disassociated. Removed from what's happening. You really are sick.
Look who's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael.
There are things that squirm just beneath the skin, but I can make them stop.
Hey! Get the hell away from her!
I'm just trying to help before she ends up in an asylum, like her mother.
Your mother.
Your mother.
Your mother.
It's one of her squirmy things. She didn't even tell her doctor. But I get inside my girls. Find out things.
He's pulling a bracelet out from a box.
My father used to make these. He was very good with his hands.
Then why didn't you get superpowers?
Yeah. Yeah. Why didn't you? Does your dad have super? Well, his dad can only just make bracelets.
That's his superpower.
That's it.
I just sit for hours and
A lot of the kryptonite just does mundane shit. Everyone gets a power, but they're all not
While I
really
watched you tell me
interesting.
secrets.
One guy can only roll threes on like a regular dice. That's it.
It wasn't very
That's
nice.
all it is. Because he was thinking about the number 3,
But he loved her.
and that's it. Every dice, it's really weird, but like no one's really thinking about it. Like, haha, that's crazy, man. But yeah, every time he rolls a fucking regular Monopoly dice, he gets a 3. Every fucking time, dude.
I take the secrets.
This is just not an episode of Smallville.
You take mine.
It's not.
No.
I don't
Is
need to hear
Supernatural
creepers.
on by this point? Why are we doing
Shoot the ones
this?
you love.
I don't need to hear creepers, serial killers talking about how they want to get inside their victims on Smallville, okay?
Save that for Oxygen.
Exactly. This is very Lifetime movie of the week.
Yes.
That's just something you have to learn.
He's taken a knife. He's heading back over to Chloe. Chloe's, of course, possessed by the spirit of a dead girl.
No, wait, I'm sorry!
So am I sometimes. But we do what we have to get better.
It's on Lois now.
Take it.
Lois is nodding. No. No. I will not take the knife.
Slit your wrist.
Oh, okay.
Screw you.
Yeah, I'll go right on that. Jigsaw.
Open your wrist and release all your
She
secrets.
calls him Shorty.
You can be at peace just like all of them.
Screw you, Shorty.
Or you watch your cousin die. Do it!
Dude, this was a purely spontaneous reaction. I want you to know I'm just communicating to you what happened. We are recording right now for a podcast. I put that clip on, and Zach, I picked up my phone and I opened Letterboxd and started scrolling through my notifications on Letterboxd while the clip played that, I don't know, I was meant to commentate on for our podcast.
What do you say? There's nothing to say. It's just boring.
This episode sucks so bad.
Oh, man. Lois throws a knife at the guy, and it, like, hits him. Not fatally,
Lois
but...
throws the knife at Michael. He knocks her down, and she falls unconscious, and he stands up to stab her.
I feel like it's not easy to throw a knife, like to actually hit someone with it.
No, right. I feel like
hard.
99% of the time, that's just like, oof, the handle hits you in the head. Maybe
Yeah,
you
exactly. He just
way.
winged me.
Yeah.
Oh, say Lois is unconscious? That's a Lois concussion.
There we go. We got one. We have something of note. Good.
Well,
Zach, this episode wasn't fully a waste of time.
We had a Chloe concussion earlier, too.
Oh, right.
Okay,
Clark,
hold on. Wait. We might have a milestone here, Brian.
Oh, shit. With the fucking Tomb? Season 5? Tomb?
Okay. the previous record for concussions in a season, overall concussions, not Lex concussions, was last season with 25. We have now reached the total of 25 midway through this season 5.
Wow. Look at us. Look at the head trauma.
We are just getting concussions left and right.
Man.
Oh, I love it.
I've been talking about Buffy a lot because I've been rewatching Buffy, so it's on top of my brain. I texted you about this of like, man, the problem that Smallville has that Buffy doesn't have is that all the main Buffy, it's the same thing. She has superpowers. Her teachers can't know. Her parents can't know. But all the main characters, everyone in the like theme song whose face shows up and their name shows up, knows Buffy's secret, that she's a superpowered vampire hunter. And that means we don't have to have so much head trauma.
Right, yeah.
It's everyone can go on the adventures, and like we can also do other stuff while the adventures are going on. We can also do the Crushes stuff. All the Crushes stuff is great and can happen on adventures. Smallville.
I'm looking at this my little Smallville sheet of tallies.
Yeah.
We come really close to getting a specialist from Metropolis this episode because Lex is like, I need to bring her to give her the best treatment in Metropolis, right?
Oh.
So close.
That would have been great. Honestly, that would have made the whole thing worth it just to see that again. Been a while since we've had a specialist from Metropolis, but a couple close calls. All right. Clark uses the Daily Planet archives to find information on Gretchen Winters and recognizes Michael in a photograph. He gets the address and super speeds into the basement just as Michael is about to stab Lois. However, he is weakened by Chloe's kryptonite bracelet and Michael knocks him out.
Did you see this? Did you see? Oh, I don't know. Good question.
Clark can't be concussed unless he's human.
He's had some before. He's had one or two before. Did you notice when he looks on Chloe's computer and sees the newspaper article of like missing girls vigil, and it shows a picture of the vigil and Michael's there looking creepy? Like, I love that the newspaper picked that photo with the creepiest. It's literally like a normal person and just a creep looking
like, look
creepy.
at this fucking freak.
Like, you didn't get any better pictures of Vigil, Bob?
Should we like have cropped that guy out? Like the fucking guy was just like being a fucking little freak. Look at that little fucking freak.
Surely he knows a camera is on him, right?
Okay, let's see. Kryptonite bracelet, Michael knocks him out. Chloe pleads with him, calling him Mikey until he softens and approaches her. He touches the bracelet and Gretchen's spirit leaves Chloe and flies into Michael. She then stabs Michael's body, killing him and freeing her spirit. Clark is done with his farm chores when Lana arrives. They talk about the state of their fractured relationship, but do not resolve anything. I don't know about don't resolve anything. She seems to dump him here.
Just break up already.
Already.
They're not, though. They're still together.
I understand his father just died, but...
I guess it's realistic in that oftentimes breakups are drawn out over like months because no one wants to fucking be the bad guy.
Right. I've been there of like, it was
for sure
over. It was over. And then it was just a long 4 to 6 months of just break squealing. Like,
yeah.
Well, it's also funny in those ways, right? It's something I don't think Clark and Lana have. I think Lana's just waiting for the appropriate time to just like pull the fucking trigger. But like, it's one of those things of like, this is dead. This is broken. Yeah. But like, who wants to pull the trigger on this? Like, then like we don't have that long left on this lease. And like,
I think Lana is done, but like, she's just like, hoping without hope, just like some glimmer from Clark.
Right.
Any amount of confiding in her would turn her around. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. That's true.
Clark, give her something, man.
Something, man. I'm real strong. Fucking, I'm always fucking around with all those people around town. I just got real strong, and I'm real worried about it. That's it. You don't even have to tell about the super speed yet. Just go, I'm real strong. I'll fucking, my finger will go right through you if I try to finger you. Lana, that's it. That's been the whole thing. It'll be like a fucking Saw movie. I'm telling you. You don't want it. Lana. Saw 3 is out by now.
Mom. Sorry.
Okay. Let's see. Do not resolve anything. He enters the house, Clark, and he and Martha talk about whether or not she should take the Senate seat. Clark tells her that she should because it's what Jonathan would have wanted. There's a line here where Martha's like, we have a farm to run. And Clark is like, bitch.
Yeah, I humored Dad for a long time.
Do not for a fucking second pretend you do shit on this farm.
I do like last week, he's like, I got to drop out of school to make up for the work that Dad's not doing. And then this week, he's like, I was all bullshit. Just fucking go do the Senate thing. Okay? Literally, I do the work of 400 men. So just fuck off.
Mom, I got this. Chloe, I assume there's some bookkeeping. That Clark, we have no indication, would be very good at.
Right, that's true, yeah.
I assume farms have taxes. Chloe is back at work, and she and Clark talk about her ordeal. Chloe doesn't understand why Gretchen chose her to help her. Clark suggests it is because Chloe cares so much about other people. But Chloe muses that maybe she really is crazy like her mother. Clark asks what is wrong with her mother, and she confesses that she doesn't know. She knows where she is, but she's too scared to visit. Clark
There is a line there where Chloe's talking about how she could have ended up at Belle Reve or something, and Clark's like, I'd never let that happen. And he should have added, because I already let that happen to Lex, and it went really bad.
Really bad.
I'd never let that happen to one of my friends. Again,
a second time. We learn things. We take information, then we grow. Clark urges her to visit before it's too late. Chloe takes his advice and goes to visit her mother's facility, where they embrace wordlessly. Allison Mack is doing good work here. We do strategically pivot so that we only see the back of her mother's head, just in case we ever want to make that a real role at some point.
Which we do next season. Got
it. And that's it. That's the episode. No John Schneider this episode. He's only credited, but doesn't appear because he's dead. He died. Dude, they don't even have
one moment. I was just going to say, there's one moment that when Lex gets tased, I wanted to mention he gets right back up from his tasing. Like, he gets tased, he goes, and he kind of falls down, and then he gets back up, and it's like, what the fuck, Clark? Like, has he been tased so many times that he's built up an
that he's just immune to it? Yeah.
Like, that's not how tasing works, right?
No.
It totally incapacitates you.
Right. No, it's an old girlfriend, a father was a cop, and they have to take a tase before you are given a taser. You have to kind of know what you're doing to somebody, and they make a whole thing of it, right? Of like, it's a whole day. It's effectively a ceremony. People come to watch you get tased, and I saw a bunch of dudes. I watched a bunch of big dudes go down hard.
You got to go to these.
Yeah. I only went once, and it was wild.
Oh, that's crazy.
Let's see. There's no fun facts here, dude. There's no fucking fun facts. There's some deleted scenes. I refuse to learn about the scenes that didn't even make this fucking episode.
Oh man, that's funny because I was like, are there no deleted scenes? Because this episode feels like they just stretched out
Yeah, right.
what they had to make it fit.
In a deleted scene, we apparently have a new sheriff whose actor is uncredited. Lois mentions that
Why would you kill off the sheriff if you were still going to need sheriff stuff?
Right. I assume she wanted to go. That's the
she
only
must
thing
have.
I can assume.
That had to have been it.
She was moving out of Vancouver and they weren't going to fly her back. Also, what's funny is they have here that in the deleted scene, Lois explains how she discovered the corpse after pulling the tile off the wall. Did you watch this on Hulu or did you watch this on DVD?
Hulu.
Did you see the Hulu description? It's weird.
No.
The Hulu description, the description for this episode is that Lois discovers a dead body in the walls of the Talon, and it specifically is like Lois, special guest star Erica Durance, which is both not what happens in the episode, and Erica Durance is a main cast member.
Yeah.
What is up with that?
Come on, Hulu, get your shit together.
Clearly that's like, Hulu didn't do that. That's data that's been supplied to them by the owners of Smallville. And that's probably just metadata. Why is that? Because that's not what happens in the episode.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked ChatGPT what happened in that episode, I wonder what they would say. They would probably.
I have asked ChatGPT multiple times, so like, can you give me an episode breakdown for this episode of Smallville? It will just make it up. It will fully just make
really?
it up. Oh, yeah. It'll sometimes it'll be like kind of like the episode, full scenes that didn't happen.
Pathological liar.
Absolutely nightmarish. So like, imagine people who like type stuff into ChatGPT and just take what it says as like, don't do that. I'm not saying don't use the evil robot for like, I mean, sometimes it might be convenient. You gotta, if you're looking for information, you gotta double check all of it, because literally things that are not at all in an episode of Smallville, and they all sound plausible enough if you scroll through it, but it's like, that didn't happen. It's crazy. That's it. There's a bit
done.
Let's Zach, let's just be done. Thank you for listening to the Talon Mix. We're just done. Watch this be the last episode we ever upload.
No.
I'm going to LA this weekend, and if I die in a plane crash, that would be amazing. It would be amazing. Not like I'd be happy it happened.
No. Let's not like, orphan your daughter.
The timing of like, if I was like, we're done. No, remember, I'm still maintaining, if one of us dies prematurely, Carolyn Page has to come take over as the permanent host of the.
Right. Yeah. She did say that. We have it on record.
We have it on record. Guys, this is the Talon Mix. Thank you so much for listening. Look, there's a link in the description. It goes to a Patreon. But thank you if you would like to support the show in that way. We obviously super mega appreciate it. We put some bonus stuff up there. Hopefully some more. We're a little behind. We have a couple of things we'd like to fucking banter about for a while. So coming up, more stuff. If not, we obviously completely understand that. You know what also means a lot? Just a nice review on iTunes or your podcasting platform of choice. A 5-star rating. 4 is also okay. Yeah. We'll take a 4. Yeah. We'll take a 4. Yeah. Like, we get it. Or just, hey, there's a Discord too, and just popping and saying you like the show means a whole lot. Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
Yeah. I want to know, should people leave a review for this show?
Good night, everybody.